Well, howdy folks, welcome back once more to the shed. This week, for your delectation, we have a pair of LMS twins. We've got Princess Alexandra in blue going in yonder direction, and we've got Coronation going in yonder other direction. So in blue, we've got Princess Alexandra, is it? Yeah. And Coronation, pair of Coronation Scots. And there's Brian. Hello, Brian. Yeah, nice to see you, mate. Welcome in. A little chilly today. What's this? Oh, bit of polystyrene. And Mum and Son Rail fan says, Tammy and Ray, good morning to you, and a very early morning that is for you. Give me a hint of how well you can hear the action and how well you can hear me over the action, because these are a little bit noisy. They're not noisy because they're, I think these were made roughly around the turn of the millennia. So we're looking at 2002, something like that. They came out of my dad's collection. And there's Sean. Hello, Sean. Nice to see you. To see you, nice. Sound is good over in America. That's great. Okay. At least we're traveling well. Yeah, so a pair of Coronation Scots today. One in the, I don't know what you call the red livery, but blue is definitely blue. So there we go. What's been happening this week? I've got one, if I can find it. Can I find it? It's amongst this lot down here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Hold on. Here's a new one. Revolution Train. I'm looking at everything backwards on there, but it's Revolution Trains. Caustic soda, clay slurry tank wagon. Blooming expensive, but really nice. So I only got the one of them. So there it is. Can you actually see anything? Yes, you can. Right, there we go. That's what it looks like. English China clay. Something dropped out of the box. Let me just go and retrieve that. But it looks like that ECC with in the Tiger livery. So I'll be doing a little review on that. It'll be a bit of a fast review. I mean, to give you an idea, there's the small detail pack, and I mean they are small. So yeah, very nicely detailed wagon, and I will be going into that. I'll get some China clay stock out. And there's Wolf Sex Scenics. There's Paul. Hello, Paul. And another, there's a Peter. There's Delft Junction. Howdy doody. And Simon, SJ Train World. Nice to see thee. Right, that's that one. Any other news? Apart from the news that we already have that Rapido are going to do an S160. That's looking mighty good. The only thing they haven't owned up to yet is if they're going to put smoke in it or some kind of vape steam unit or something like that. They've got to do that. They've just got to. And I'll do everything in my power to help them along the way. So apart from that, it's been a week of speaking to the legal profession regarding probate and stuff like that. I won't go into it. Let's. There's Connie. Hello, Connie. For those that don't know, Connie does a live stream later on Sunday. For us, it's around about 5 o'clock, and I think Lee does one at the same time. And yeah, if models and painting and model techniques is your kind of thing, yeah, tune into Connie because she's pretty good. So yeah, 5 o'clock this afternoon. If you'd like to slide on in there, it's always a good fun show, and it does go on for quite a few hours, so you can skip in and out, and things never get that far that they get out of your reach. So you can always see some progress that's happened, and I love the dragon, Connie. That was brilliant. Um, yeah, really nicely done. I mean, it's obviously it's a dragon with wings sort of folded over like this, and the paint scheme on it, fabulous. So tune in there if that's your kind of thing, or if you like to just chill out, kick back, and watch somebody else model for a change, then that's your bag. Right, as I say, we've got London, Midlands, and Scottish today. Not never really been my thing because I grew up on the London North East Railway. King's Cross being 10 minutes away from where I grew up. Obviously, it was a no-brainer. But a lot of the LMS and all of the big four happened well before I was born. That all stopped in 1948 and it became British Rail. But you still have a bit of allegiance to the various train companies. Obviously, for those that live out west, somewhere like Wiltshire or Cornwall, then obviously the Great Western will be your thing. And there's Timber. Hey, good morning, Timber. And anybody else? There's Carl as well. Carl Shield, hello there. We need more Irish live stream. Oh, well, Carl, if you want to sort that out, why not? As you can see, it's quite a bright day. What I'm getting is I'm getting a reflection off of the PC here, which just happens to be silver. For all those that with black PCs, now you know why they're black, because you don't get a reflection off the bit where the surrounding the keyboard. So yes, we've got London, Midlands, and Scottish today, which obviously went out of Euston and up the west coast of England and Scotland, and probably into Wales, but I think that was Great Western. So, yeah. Anyway, what I did, I left it a bit late, and there's James. Hello, James. Good morning to you. A very early morning. James, for those of you who don't know, is in Canada. Yes, London, Midlands, and Scottish. So you'll see the two coronations, obviously streamliners. These are two sets that my father had, and they've been sitting on a shelf doing nothing for years. I gave them a very light oiling, put them on the track, off we go. These were made around about 2002, 2003, around about there, by Hornby, and they did very well. No funky flangeless wheels under the cab or anything of that nature. They did it properly, and this is the result. Nice and smooth. Coaches are a bit funky. What they did is they got some old stock, just branded it with the Coronation Scott on there, in red, in blue, whatever that matches. And they did a bang up job on the models. They've since made arguably a better one, but with the flangeless wheel under the cab, which London, Midlands, and Scottish never had. They never had a Cartazzi axle. Why Hornby have done that, I know it's just with cheapness. And we don't have to worry about but for me, that's a step too far. It's just a dodge, an unfortunate dodge. No offence to people who are called Dodge. It's just that they just dropped it for that, in my opinion. So I didn't buy one, and I stuck with these. Got a decent 5-pole cam motor in them, and they did it right. And once you get it right, why fix it if it's not broken? So there you go. There is Dino, Timber Surf, and Finnerton Central Model Railway. For those that don't know, is Brian. Dundas Junction is James. We've got GWR Buckley, which is Sean. And Wall Scenics PW, it's Paul. So, yeah, there. Rob from RGJ Trains. His sister had to go back in hospital today, so no, oh dear. That's not good. Great country, been to Calgary and Toronto. Yeah, possibly one of the best holidays I ever had to Toronto. And it was just fabulous. Even the tramps were great over there. Yeah, every city has them, but they were polite and they were just really nice people. And when it gets to the point where even the tramps are nice people, you know you're in a good place. And I loved Canada. I thought it was a fantastic country. And if there was anywhere else I was going to live in the world, it would probably be Canada. There it is. Do I speak French? Not an absolute necessity. I never spoke French any time I was over there. Didn't feel the need to. And if I dumped myself somewhere, it probably wouldn't be Quebec. So a few words here and there. My wife speaks it and can understand it more than she can speak it. I think that's just a confidence thing. If I want a quick translation of French, my wife's right there. Yeah. Oh, that means this. Okay. But it's very coy about talking French because you have to. Yeah. They sort of elongate everything out and make it a bit more. I don't know if sexy is the word, but one thing I do admit is I love it when French people speak English because they seem to add something, which I find really great. And that a bit like the Welsh, yeah. Yeah, and the Scots. I mean, yeah, with the Scots, if it's a really deep brogue, you're going to have trouble to slow down. I Kenya laddie. But I don't usually find too much trouble with the Scots. You just have to live there for a little while, even if it's for a couple of days, and you pick up the notion of what they're saying and how fast they're saying it. Spent a year in France, still don't speak it though. I suppose if you were going to live in France, yeah, you'd have to learn the language and fast. At least conversational French. Watching 2 live streams kind of mess up the sound. Can't mess out twice in a row. My niece is currently dancing hip hop in Blackpool at the World Championship Finals. They have a hip hop World Championship. I suppose you have a World Championship for everything. Lived in Wales for 30 years. Still can't speak it. Well, I mean, it's not a necessity. You can get by with plain old English. The world keeps going round. It's just nice if you can do it. I'm just on business, and most professionals speak good English. Yeah. I mean, there's some. I've met lots of Germans who speak fantastic English. Let's take a point in motion like Hi, who's in the Netherlands. His English is fantastic. And the only time he ever stumbles is when you get something exotic like Sean's name, which is Sion, or Dino. But in the Netherlands, Dino is pronounced Diano. And it's obviously a popular name there, but that's the way they pronounce it. And of course, we're sort of looking at each other by the miracles of all of this jazz. I think, Diano, John, and I think, well, hang on a minute. But it's just a few words. When you look at what High can achieve in English, living in another country is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So there's Charlie. Hello, Charlie. Talking on the Bonnie Scots, Partick Hill Station. Yeah, you're in Canada, aren't you, Charlie? We were just extolling the virtues of Canada, which I must admit, I loved being in Canada. It was fabulous. Plus, at the end of the trip to Canada, we got Concord home, which was quite rapid. Bloody rapid, bloody quick. Mach 2. Ciao. Faster than a speeding bullet. There's Carl Stevens. Hello, Carl. For those who've just joined, I'm running a little London, Midlands and Scottish today. Over yonder, Coronation Scot in the funky livery in red. And coming the other way, Princess Alexandra, another Coronation Scot in funky blue. Now, I do have some more coaches for these. I think we've got 3 extra for each train. But it starts to get a bit elongated then. And to tell you the truth, I grabbed the 2 sets because they come in a set, which is the loco and 3 coaches. I've got 3 more, but they're dotted around and I'd have to track them down. So it was quick and dirty today, I'm afraid. That doesn't mean anything sexual. It was just grab the sets, get them down here, get them on, grab a quick coffee. Cheers, everybody. Eat, sleep, trains, and repeat. Cheers, everybody. Ugh. That's well on the way to being cold, but that's an advantage. You can't taste cold coffee. Anyway, right. Yeah, let's. Is it Caledonian blue? I would imagine it probably is. It's a light, it's almost a powder blue, but a little bit stronger. And the other one it's not maroon and it's not pillar box red. It's, well, I'll get the camera a bit closer and you can see for yourself. So let's see what we can do. Hold on a minute, guys. Today outside it's looking a bit overcast and as you can see, windy. Limited clearance. Woohoo. Right, here we go. Oh dear, it's so windy it knocked the trees down. How are we doing? Right. That should be a little bit more like it. Yay. Yes, as you can see, I went a bit mad, so they shot me. Yeah, I was doing some light hoovering, and I managed to snag one of the trees. So I'll just stand them up over yonder. There we are. Cows in field. Right, let's just give you a little more leeway there. That should be a bit more like it. Can you see the signal box? Yes, you can. Can you hear me? I hope you can. That's the same girl I spoke when I first came here. Right, the coronation. Got blue. Yeah. Yeah, I think those were the newer ones, Charlie. I think it was Charlie that said that. Um, but I didn't like the new engines with their funky flangeless wheel under the cab. I no, step too far for me. These are the older incarnation, round about the early 2000s. Loco drive, but with a proper floating bogie under the cab. So that was one thing I really did go for. And as my father had the sets, it was something I didn't really need to spend a lot of money on, as he bequeathed them to me quite generously. And yeah, cheers, Dad. Here they are, still running, and will run for many years to come. LMS Red. Yeah, I thought that, Sean. I thought I'd get them out and give them a spin. They've been sitting in a box for God knows how many years. Went to Making Tracks 3 yesterday. We released the vid. Oh, okay, fabulous. Yeah, I'll look forward to that. Is it as big as they say, Timber? Going to be using the contact points from DCC Concepts for my lift gates. Oh, okay. Well, they certainly do seem to make a hell of a lot of gear. DCC Concepts. It's not cheap. And there's Roger. Hello, Roger. Now you've joined us, Roger. I'm going to be doing I'll do a little review of this, which is the new Revolution China Clay slurry tank wagon. It looks like that. So I'll be doing a little review of that. Flipping expensive though. For those that don't know, I think those things were 40 quid a toss. So I only bought one. And that was because I saw somebody else do a review of it. And it looked so good, I couldn't pass it up. Now you have to be careful of that, Brian, because they did something funky with the coaches. Before they did the very new ones, they re-released these in the railroad range, but they put a much, much darker roof on them. So they don't quite match up. As you can see, these have got quite a bit of a darker roof. But the second time around, when they did them in the railroad range, they did something wrong with the colouring of the roofs. So they don't match up with the originals. So you really have to watch it. I think the originals were R2XXX, something like that. Now, boys and girls, no fighting over the spoils. That's the whole idea of my little live stream, so we can all enjoy the trains. We don't necessarily have to have them to enjoy them. And I keep that in mind when I look at other people's railways. They've always got something different than I've got, which makes the world go round. Yeah, rake of those China clay slurry wagons. Yeah, 10 of them would be 400 quid. Having said that, when that S160 comes out, if it's got all the bells and whistles and smoke, that's going to be around £400 to £500. Stormy Sky Rail Productions has got something called the Herzog Rail Detector. So I'll be having a look at that afterwards. I've none at all. Need some for my city of Birmingham. Oh, okay. Yeah, city of Birmingham. Is that just a? Is that in the funky coronation colours, Brian? Blood and custard, BR maroon, and Pullman's. Well, if you've got those, Timber, that covers quite a bit of ground. If you're going to be doing 50s, can you think of much more that there is? All you've got then is the Suburbans and things like that. Looking at getting the Class 101, really want one. Yeah, that's in N scale, right, Sean? So you're looking at Grand Farish, perhaps, or Daypole? Just John, did you say the stop running now came from your fight? Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did, Roger. Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons I avoided. Another reason I avoided getting in any of the new stuff, because when you start to repeat things, then something has to be sold, and that's a bit heartbreaking. Got a Class 14. I got a feeling. We just sold one. I think it was it a Hilljan? Did they call that a teddy bear or something? Grey and blue, too modern. Yeah. I think Charlie's got the more modern ones, Brian. Just ease them down a bit. Right. Oh, where are we? Have we got SJ Dusty in? SJ Train World. It's not quite the same thing. Yeah, Helljan make it. Selling for 114. We're on the blue ones. So I have 9 or 10. Check the R numbers. Yeah. If they're fairly high up, like R3000, R4000, something like that, they're the brand new ones, which are, of course, much better fidelity of scale. I mean, these old ones, they just churned them out, really. It's Lindsay's Builds. Hello there. How are you, Lindsay? Timber look his teeth. Not my choice of big four. to the city of your city of Birmingham. Is that a coronation streamlined nose like these, or is it like a Duchess class, Brian? Sixth grade. Oh, it's a streamliner. Oh, okay. That's good, Lindsay. For anybody that's interested, this here is just a dummy. All of the actual point motors are underneath with the central pin, like PL10s, whatever they are. Just bang bang type solenoids, and this is just added on for a bit of fun, really. They're just a Pico dummy one. James has got the next modules all planned out. Start building next week. That's great, James. Can't wait. Mark's still not sold his DMU yet, Brian, if you want it. Now, if I'm thinking the right DMU, that's got to be a 4CEP. Is that right? Those dummies are, let's see, I think they're from Pico. They're just Pico dummies. You get them in a pack of 10, something like that. And they're not the most expensive item that Pico produce. So, yeah. And all I did was I just glued them on there with a tiny touch of super glue. And then the idea is that you sort of pack it out underneath. You have to cut the little knob off of the stretcher bar that goes across. Otherwise, it clouts the inside of that. But, yeah, just take it off. Yeah, the bright side of that, Brian, is that they'd all be in one package. I see somebody did a video the other day about everybody bashing Hornby. Well, I'm afraid they bought that on themselves. To give you an idea of that, just recently, my son bought the STJR coaches, and they sent them one at a time and charged us package and posting for each of those instead of putting the 4 in one big box and one lot of package and posting. That's what happens when you farm out these processes to another company. And it's things like that that just drag Hornby down. But when they do get it right, as you can see, when a train comes around, yeah, back in the 2000s, they were pretty much riding high. But just recently, they've done some queer things. Actually send out their own Marks Models van. Well, that's a good idea. All over Ireland from their warehouse in Greenock. Right. That's an interesting thing. Yes, they are in real trouble. It's real trouble they bought on themselves, actually. TT, well, what's that about? and then messing around with the fidelity of engines like this. Flangeless wheels. Come on. We had flangeless wheels back in the Triang days. You really think we haven't got any further than that? And then there was the tip-filled Thunderbolt fiasco. What on earth were they thinking? I'm afraid they're so caught up in management rubbish that they've just lost the plot of the real world, I'm afraid. Come and talk to us, and we'll soon put them straight on how to make good models. Nice thick plastic. If you're going to make anything out of plastic, don't make it so thin that you can see light through it. You know, you have to ask yourself, you know, how silly are some of their practices. So, oh dear. Yeah, Dino. And the competition's getting better, and the quality's getting better, and they're cheaper than Hornby. Yeah, that's unfortunate, Chris. That really is. Yeah, they should have dipped their toe into asking people whether it was going to be viable or not. They could have done worse than to bought it back as 3 mil. So you could use all your old TT stuff as well. But no, they didn't. They decided on TT 120 scale. I suppose for those in the continent with Tillig and things like that, it may have been a good solution. But are the Europeans that interested in our railways? That's debatable. With sound moderators, we can fit our own lighting decoder sound. Yeah, we can. Bought a Hornby signal box. Try putting lights in it. Light bleed like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, well, the plastic too thin. But if they're going to use plastic like that, at least put some black paint inside so you don't get the light bleed. Come on, it doesn't need Einstein to figure it out, does it? Two R422 on eBay for £55 plus postage. What's an R422? Euroscales man control 21 postage. I think that's more than the prototype clip. Yeah, you're probably right. You can use foil tape to stop the light leaks. Yeah, have you tried using foil tape? Very crinkly, very fast, and it sticks like crap to fur. It really does. Oh, Blue Coronation coaches, yeah. Well, with a number like R422, those are going way back to Triang Hornby days. I know the interest some YouTubers have begun to defend Hornby quite strongly recently. Well, good luck to them. But you can't defend the indefensible. Sorry, but there it is. If they fade away, well, so much the better. Something better will replace it. And if they're going to inject a new management in there to sort things out, well, they've got their work cut out to rebuild their standing in the community, which has been almost destroyed, really. The things they've done, like farming out their posters and packing to AN other, rattling around in boxes, yeah, great. The Titfield gate, what they did to Rouse of Sheffield with their terrier, that was shocking and so blatant. I'll be the first one to pat Hornby on the back if they come out of the good products. But I'm afraid, nah, they haven't produced anything that I fancied. Even that new P2, it's got another flangeless axle, and they've got to get away from that. They really got to reappraise that. If it means going back to engineering samples and finding something that works, the Europeans have managed to make it work over on the continent. I don't see why Hornby can't. They would have been better off doing like they did here and have a swinging pony truck. Oh, but you can see light underneath it. Well, tough. If you're going to have a compromise like a flangeless wheel, I'm sorry. No, that's a compromise too far. So, as a consequence, I've voted with my feet. And I don't buy Hornby stuff unless it's going to be really good. I'll wait for the reviews, see what it's like. If it's good, I'll consider it. If it isn't, bye-bye. Scratch built a Glasgow tenement from cardboard. I might make the drawings available. Yeah, why not, Charlie? (9R422423). Well, I can give you the number of the various boxes that these came in. You've got the red one, which is R2199M, and the blue one is R2371M. And that's two train packs that look something like that. Yeah, I'll say this for the old man, he had a good eye for things like that. Yeah, we bought the original Cock of the North, which was I don't think we got the railroad one, I think we got the better version with the TTS sound in it, which isn't brilliant. It's another one of Hornby's halfway houses. They've come out with a lot of things like that are half-baked, like the Bluetooth stuff that doesn't work very well, decoders blowing, things like that. Doesn't work on DC like they said it would. It was half-baked. You do all that stuff behind closed doors first before you foist it on the public. And I'm afraid they didn't. It's a rush it to market type of thing. And sorry, that doesn't work. Yeah, Roger, if you're going to go for something, go around about where it first went to China. They had a point to prove then. And a lot of their stuff they did, like Clan Line, things like that, fabulous. And still fairly cheap. Like these models, there is nothing wrong with them. Why they had to retool them, I don't know. Yeah, same here, Peter. Hi, Andy. It's Andy Dobson. I believe you're somewhere in Somerset. Is that right, Andy? Oh, what the class 47 with a few grills put on it. Yeah, if you're going to go for a 57, go for the backy one. Scarborough. Really, Andy? Oh, okay. What's the weather like there at the moment? Bracing? And Collins Engage, hello there. Busy counting containers, Colin. Oh dear. No, I never have. Any trouble I've ever had with Bachmann, you get straight onto Bachmann. They've got spares galore and they can fix it for you if you can't fix it yourself. That's what you call customer service. Sunny and rain in Scarborough. Right. Well, let's have a look outside yonder door. And you know what? It's actually raining. The wind's dropped, but it's raining. How about that? 30 degrees here today in Toronto. Well, I'm telling you, it's not here. It's barely 70 degrees. That's what Hornby never did, Andy. What did they not do, Peter? And trains, kits, etc. Good morning to you. Actually, it's afternoon, but we won't quibble about this. Spares, yeah. Yeah. Oh, can I have a new motor? Oh no, we don't make them anymore. What kind of crap is that? I'll tell you, I needed a board, a motherboard for an old Class 37, which was a special, and they wanted the serial number off of it. So I gave them the serial number of the board. It was version 10, something like that. And they said, oh yeah, we've got 50 of those in stock. We'll send you one straight down. No problem at all. It might have cost a bit, but that's what you call customer service. But one time, somebody bought me a present of a Bachmann engine. It was a fairly brand new 060 tank. I didn't have the receipt for a start because it was a present. Sent it back to Bachmann when it just stopped working. And they fixed it for free and sent it back to me. If you can get better customer service than that, good luck. Coming to you live from the psychiatric ward. Not sure I have the layout anymore. Oh. A wooden trestle bridge. Is that an Americanized wooden trestle bridge? Colin? Yeah, I don't always like their prices, Brian. But if you look around for long enough, usually one will come up at a more reasonable price. Old speckled hen, a la Alan Reynolds. Yes, Alan does like his beer a bit. There's Mystic John. Hello, Mystic John. How you doing today? So Colin's doing Americanized trestle bridge. This is great. That is really good news because I really like those things. If you look at some of the old viaducts they had in Cornwall, a fair part of those, when it went above the brick abutments, was like a cantilever wooden design holding it all up. It was only much later on that they took the brick abutments right up and built a whole solid viaduct. And if you go across any of those viaducts, if you look left or right, you can usually see what remains of the old viaducts, the old abutments for them. Wood or plastic? No, that's a tough call. Well, I suppose if you're in a damp shed, then it would be best out of plastic. But if you did do it in wood and you used a decent varnish on it, something that will penetrate and protect it, yeah, I don't see why you couldn't use wood, except that it'll expand and contract, whereas plastic probably wouldn't. I mean, this here signal box right here, that's a Bachmann one, and it's made out of resin, and it's hard as iron. And if you put a light in that, there's no chance of that ever bleeding through, because it's more like a really hard clay than resin. You'd need an angle grinder to get into that. 600 millimeter radius, 450 mil height. Hang on a minute. 600 mil radius. Right, that's 300 mil. So you're talking 2 foot radius, which is that. And what was the rest of it? 450 mil high. So you're talking that much. 18 inches. That's pretty good going, Polly. Look after your mental health, fellas. Yeah. Well, these trains help with that. I can come in here anytime, turn on the trains and just lose myself. Just find a little relaxation in those trains going round and round and round. And it's nice to share it. And I'm glad I can share it with you guys and gals. If you're a railway man, had wooden trestle bridges that later got rebuilt with stone or brick once things got a bit less manic and lines amalgamated. Yeah, that's true. Mainly because they fall down otherwise. The exhibition layout I'm building has a wooden rail bridge on it. Well protected, it will last. So that's good, Roger. See, that's half the battle, thinking of where it's going to end up. So if it ended up in a fairly damp shed like this, I mean, this is not the worst shed because I left a gap between the shed and the fence so you can get plenty of air around it. But being in vicinity of the fence, it keeps a lot of the very heavy wind off of it. So, and there's Artie. Oh, hello, Artie. I'll try and keep the noise down. The baby's sleeping. Nice to see you. How's the land of Oz today? Thought I'd give you a little coronation. There's the blue, and coming around in a second will be the red. Coming up right now. Sorry, a bit of Spike Milligan there. 70 gunners on eBay, 555 plus £14 package to Toronto. SL70. 6 of them. Yeah, it's a lot. So 15 quid rather than a £5. Yeah, I've been sorting out my trains for running this week. Check the KD's company. How's the shoulder, Artie? Mr. Anthony Dodge, how are you? Well, happen you deserved it, Anthony. Have a lay in. See, it's a bit different for us because it's sort of midday, early afternoon. But asking anybody to get up sort of 8 o'clock in the morning is a bit of a stretch on a Sunday. You, how's the shoulder, Artie? It's probably still sore after a week. Yeah, pretty sore. I imagine it would be. Will you take care, old chap? Still in bed listening to Joy snoring. Ah, wonderful. That's it. The sound of sleep. What we've got coming around is locomotive number 6220, Coronation. The Coronation Scott. And going in t'other direction in blue, Princess Alexandra. With suitable early Hornby, roughly year 2000s rolling stock. Who's gone live? Little History is live. If that's your kind of thing, you can whiz over there. Hopefully catch a stream this week. Yeah, it's a must. Anthony Dodge's Friday Night Spectacular. Can't miss that. Got my wife a mask. Silent sleeping now. Well, I suppose you could always pop in earbuds if it's really. And there's Mark. Hello, Mark. You had a job to do in your car. Was that put new tyres and wheels on it after somebody had nicked them? It's probably all the oil and water that cars need these days. Maintenance, I think. That's the word, maintenance. Right, let's grab you and you can look at my ugly mug. Oh, here we go. Into the boardies. Oh, what a slaphead. Right, here we go. Okay, let's just pop that up a bit. Yeah, yeah, I can see that one, I can see that one. Yeah, there we go. Right, I have to go. Need to get back on my oxygen. It's tiring. Take care, mate. Cheers, Roger. Nice to see you in. Charlie, she isn't a consistent snorer, just the weather changes drastically. Yeah, yeah, that does happen. Cheers, Roger. So my channel took off like mad. 80,000 subs. Just to say to Andy and Anthony and whoever else pop into and hang around with, still come and say hi. It's just a number. Love these communities. Yeah. Oh well. 80,000 subs. Yeah. That's big numbers. Had to replace a door mirror. Oh dear. Somebody got a bit close, did they? Had to take the door card off as well to do it. Yeah. Well, trouble is, it's a lot of the new cars. It's not just a card; it's a whole plastic shell. Was in Istanbul. Lots of guys walking around with bandages on their heads. Yes. Yeah, as is the custom, as they say. So yeah, as you can see, the coronations seem to be running very well. They've run for over an hour now, well over an hour, and I think they're outstanding. They're obviously early 2000s models, and looking at that nice fine valve gear, there was nothing wrong with the model that Hornby produced then. Why they then had to go and remake the wheel, I don't know, but there you go. I can't figure that one out. He's doing better than me. Yeah. The shoulders pivotal on everything you do with your hands, as you're probably finding out, Artie. Once it gets better, you know, you're going to be over the hump then, and you think, what was all the fuss about? But it's easy being wise after the event. 80,000 subs. One of the biggest channels now. Isn't Sam the biggest model trains channel? I think he probably is. He's Is he over 1 million? Something like that. Okay, I mean the things he has to do to keep it interesting. That's another thing entirely, and it makes it a little divisive when he starts running trains through swimming pools and things like that. But I think he's most of the time, although some of his criteria is a little flawed, I think he does quite good reviews. And yeah, you get to see him take the running plate off the bottom and see if it's got bearings, how much grease is in there as it left the factory, whether it's oiled or not, are things falling off. It gives him a good workout. And 139,000, that's no mean feat. And he's done it all on his own. So, yeah, I'll always watch his stuff. I may not like all of it, but I'll still watch it. And if I haven't got anything constructive to say, I won't say anything. Luke Town's still at 2 million, but he isn't just trains. Oh. This is all thanks to an accident I had in a truck in 2020. Messed up both shoulders and both hands too, yeah. The shoulders and the hands, they're so pivotal in everything you do. I know Anthony's got sort of nerve trouble in his shoulder, which makes the hands shake. And that must be an absolute nightmare. I mean, it's bad enough just getting old and, trying to do anything close. On go the big glasses so you can actually see what you're doing. And I don't know if I've got it down here. Yes, I have. Then you have to start using things like this, like a helping hands where you've got 2 alligator crocodile clips, whatever you want to call them, and one of these, and you're staring there, and yeah, I suppose you could run the soldering iron along there to the wire you're doing just to keep it fairly still. But yeah, it's got a great big metal cast base, so put one wire on there, and so you've then got both hands to use the soldering iron and the solder, which it's a good little item, particularly when it comes to something really small and you start to get a bit of a handshake and you can't get it together. It's difficult, and Anthony will tell you it's uber difficult. And for anybody doing that and taking models apart and having to do that kind of things, it takes a part of genetic with nerve damage from other events in life. Yeah, that can come from anything: sport, falling over, just wear and tear. Yeah, it's a good little item, Charlie, and I've used it more times than I care to admit. You got bad shoulders as well. Not looking good for us regarding evolution. No. Okay. Right. Well, I'm going to call it there, guys. Probably Dave's on at Swindon Junction, so I don't want to tread on his toes too badly. Thank you all very much for coming and sharing my minuscule trains with me. And for a Sunday, it's raining, and I'd rather be in here playing trains and enjoying myself with you lovely people. So I'll catch up with you in the streams. Connie's on later, as is Lee, later in the afternoon. Thanks for coming in, and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week, hopefully. So take care, everybody. Ta ta for now.